is life-changing for me and my work. My experience was excellent. I was amazed at the insights that I gained because I've been doing work with boards, school boards for 17 years. And what I didn't quite understand was that factor X, the magic formula, that it's really about emotions. It's really not about, pouring more information into people's heads. That's critical, really important to make them more technically savvy. But the key that I kind of discovered in the experience was that it's about emotions and the negative cycle, which was really a great insight for me. In working with school boards as I do, I've already had the opportunity to meet with several school board members. Preparation for 3 very large and very important school board trainings. And what I've been able to say is, let's focus more on the bonding, on the teamness, on you getting along with each other, making sure that each of the board members know that they matter to the other. And let's get a little bit more off the information and who's right and who's wrong, and moreover, historical conflicts that you've had. And let's focus on, kind of re-gluing you together, rebonding you as a team. And once that feels really good and you feel safe as a board, you'll make better decisions. I'll give you a very specific example of one group of 5 board members. And these 5 board members are and were at conflict over past incidents that occurred around a board election. The resentments have continued now for about a year. And after taking the training, what I've been able to begin to discuss with them is it isn't really about those events. It's about the significance of those events to the board members themselves. So the 3 out of 5 that are at conflict are really beginning to say, yeah, that's right. I also let them know that their bond is important so that they can make better decisions, and they're responsible for hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. And so as a board, they're beginning to discuss things in a different way. We're going to further the work, and they're very excited about furthering the work and realizing that it's really about their lack of connection when they go into conflict. It's not about the information or the issues or the events or the timing. It's about them sitting down and saying, why is it that those issues bothered me in the past? What emotions were triggered for me, and why am I holding on to them in such a strong way? Because once they get there, the issues are long gone. They're a year old. But the problem is that they haven't gotten to the point where they realize what triggered the emotion, what created the negative cycle between them, the 3 of them, and what continues to be a gigantic obstacle in their ability to make good decisions for their clients and their children that they're responsible for. I dealt more in the past with the issues, but frankly, after taking the EmC training, I'll now focus more on the emotions and stay there and not get off on the issues and not get off on the individuals, but more on, the negative cycle that's been created, so they can see that kind of like loud and clear, if you will, and then be able to address the emotions. And once they realize that's the problem, the cycle is the problem, and the lack of emotional connection is a more giant problem than their substantive issues, if you will, then they'll begin to heal, if you will, and move forward. It'll take time. It doesn't happen overnight. I don't believe this will happen in one board meeting. It will happen over a series of board meetings. We're ready to do that. With 3 boards now, I've discussed the possibility of giving them the same type of training, but using the EmC process, and they're excited. People get it, like immediately, yeah, that's right. I need to let them know, the other board members know that they matter to me. I need to let them know that the team is more important than any one individual's points of view or one individual's emotions. Because people do get locked into their emotions and they don't realize how to get back out. That's why I'm so excited to continue the process and working with a lot of experience in seeing what could have been different in my 130-some board workshops had I had this information. Really, it is groundbreaking. It is wonderful information that had I had it before and had I incorporated it into my strategies for getting boards to work more strongly together, I would have been much better off.
Mm-hmm.
Critical about this process is that it's a new paradigm for folks. They begin to see the challenges that boards and teams have in a different way. We don't have this kind of training naturally. It doesn't come through graduate courses or doctorate dissertations. You just don't have this type of experience if you haven't gone through this training. So what people will realize very quickly is that it's not about issues. It's about the team. It's about the connections. It's about people being wired for connection. And they really want to be strong. They really want to be loved and accepted. And when they are loved and accepted emotionally by the rest of the team, then they feel safe. And when they feel safe, they're going to make better decisions. I am constantly searching for new strategies and techniques that can inform my practice. I think any good professional, no matter how many years or how many experience they've had in doing their professional work, needs to continue to grow.
Mm-hmm.
There's always new information. I was looking through different, I'm kind of like one of those people that go deep in the internet, and I was looking for experiences people had, and I found a corporate board member who had commented on your training. And then I looked up your name on Google, and I saw all about you and the training, and then I was able to call you and get a hold of B cards, which are a key thing, which talk literally about how people can be better in their teamness. Bottom line, what I didn't understand with the B cards is that it's about the emotional connection. But in getting a hold of the B cards, I was able to use them with several boards, and I have used 150 strategies with school boards throughout California for the last 18 years. And I have to be very, very clear about this. None were as successful as just using the B cards. At the time, I was uninformed about how to use them. But when I used them, people said, wow, we love this. We love you. We want you back. We want to do more of this. What I've found, Dr. Gershfeld, is that with the work that you're doing and the discoveries you've made and the way you put this together in the emotional connection workshops and series, people, when they hear about it, they say, yeah, that's what we need. I've had no one. I've probably spoken to 15 board members that I haven't done workshops for, and many of my co-professionals about it, and they say, yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need. We need to understand that we're disconnected because there was some hurt along the line, and they're carrying that hurt or broken emotion or whatever with them, and it does really impact their decision making, which is really a negative thing. I let them realize that, yeah, in fact, it is about that. It's about us. It isn't about the decision to spend millions of dollars on this project. It's about us. It's about us coming together as a team and reconnecting, reforming our bonding, because that's what we deep inside really need to have to be a strong team. Dealing with boards over all these years, I see exactly what I see in your training. I see it. I see it time and time again. What I see is that people are unable, almost dysfunctional, when they're all about a lack, when they feel the emotional connection has been frayed. They don't realize the critical nature of their bonding together. I realize that. And so what I've found in my work is that I deal with that I do slow down the process, which is absolutely critical. Slow down and let's take a look at what's going on. But what I didn't realize is the importance of emotional connection and not the issue. Point where I can let them recognize that, that's when I know my work will go up exponentially another level and improve. After I deliver a training using your process, I will feel excited, energized, excited, enthusiastic about doing more, pleased, accomplished, powerful. I will feel that because I'll say, wow, I made a difference with those 7 people or those 5 people.
Yes.
I made a difference. I went in there and I worked with them and they are excited. It was emotional and that's what it was supposed to be. But now that they've recognized where they've frayed their emotional connection, they can heal it. They can get together and start to focus as a team more and bond and then do a better job with the issues that come before them. Yeah, I'm 71 years old. This is my 50th year in my field of education. And I have to tell you that my experience after the EMC is changing my life. And I, I can guarantee anyone that's interested in the training that it will change their lives and their practice as well. It is training that gets deep into one's own emotions, and once becoming more aware of their own emotions, they can realize that those board members with whom they're dealing, or employees or colleagues, they can realize that every human interaction is really about emotions. And what people really want is to know they matter, that you care for them, that their opinion is important. And once people get that, they become very strong in their practice because they've experienced themselves deeply internally. And then they realize every human being is full of emotion. And that's what it's about. Not so much about a pat on the back or another certificate. It's about saying, you matter. I care about you. You being in my life is important. And that's what I've learned. And that's why I think everyone should take this training. I was an HR person before I became a superintendent. And I worked with hundreds of employees, as well as about 42 other HR leaders in various school districts. And we were always about the technical aspects of HR. How do you motivate, right? How do you sustain an employee sustain and retain an employee in your organization? How do you recruit new employees? We never really incorporated the important part, and that is that we want team players that are emotionally connected with us, and we never ever discussed emotional connections. So I wish, if I could go back 20 years now, that I could have found you, Dr. Gershfeld, and had you present to all of our HR leaders, because it would have changed the lives of thousands of people.